Many myths and stereotypes exist about American Indians. A persistent myth of the American Indian is that they are a vanishing race. What led to this myth were portrayals in the arts, paintings, photographs, sculptures, books, and movies, which have portrayed Native Americans as weak, submissive, and vanquished. These depictions are a master narrative directing our perceptions about American Indians. That negative portrayal began with colonization. Even though Columbus never stepped foot on North America, it has been estimated that when he landed on San Salvador in 1492, that there were approximately 5 million individuals living in what is now known as the United States. Without a doubt, the native population through diseases and genocide decreased significantly. Estimates are that Indians numbered around 600,000 in 1880, falling to the lowest number of 250,000 in 1900. Those negative portrayals are ever present, even in our nation's capital.
Native Americans show up, and in the Rotunda especially. And when you look at the Native Americans in the Capitol Rotunda, you get a real sense that what the artists are talking about is America and American expansion. The expansion westward, manifest destiny to go and populate the entire continent with citizens of the United States, to go from sea to shining sea. And often, in order to justify that, they needed to do paintings that aren't just showing people planting flags on Nebraska, but are scenes that people are going to recognize and are going to resonate with them. And they use Native Americans as symbols to show why America should do that. Why does America get to go from the Atlantic to the Pacific? Because they're in the process of doing that right then when that art is made. And they use that by showing Native Americans sort of as a symbol of what America can do.
So, for more than a century, the master narrative of Native Americans was one of a vanishing race. James Fenimore Cooper wrote The Last of the Mohicans in 1826, and the story has been reprinted numerous times and has been made into at least 5 films since movies came to be. One infamous portrayal of the vanishing Indian was a painting by John Gast in 1872. The painting attempted to illustrate how American progress brought enlightenment as it pushed the American Indian ever more west. Notice that the artist portrays Indians as fleeing in darkness to the left, while stagecoaches, telegraph lines, and trains push them out. Perhaps the most prolific representations of Indians as a dying race were done by a Seattle photographer and ethnographer, Edward S. Curtis. Curtis, born in 1868, often portrayed the American Indian as either alone or disappearing. Many of his photographs show the subject with his or her back to the camera, portraying a melancholy mood. His staged photos always showed American Indians in traditional regalia, never in contemporary clothing. Curtis also published books of his photographs. In the introduction for his book, The North American Indian, published in 1907, he wrote, "The information that is to be gathered respecting the mode of life of one of the great races of mankind must be collected at once, or the opportunity will be lost." Curtis took over 40,000 photographs from over 80 tribes, some of which are from those around Flathead Lake. Zane Grey, a popular author best known for his Western books, idealized the frontier. In his novel, The Vanishing American, Grey cast blame on white settlers. However, in a later film adaptation, that criticism was missing. Instead, the narrative lamented that while friendly, these Indians must die. Fast forward 100 years or so later, and that master narrative of the vanishing race still exists today. The myth, which can do so much damage, perpetuates prejudices and stereotyping. Last year, an article in Oprah magazine began by saying, "Google Asian American, Latin American, or just plain American, and you'll see images of people you might meet on any given day. A barista, a neighbor, a coworker. But Google Native American, and you will see men in headdresses or on horseback, typically from a previous century." Matika Wilbur, a Tulalip and Swinomish tribal member, set out to change all that.
How can we be seen as modern, successful people if we are continually represented as the leathered and feathered vanishing race? For the last 10 years, my work has been about counteracting these images to create positive Indigenous role models from this century.
The journey began last December. I sold everything in my Seattle apartment, packed my camera, boots, and film into my war pony, and set off on an epic adventure into Native America. For hundreds of years, our Native ancestors have been calling for the authentic story of our people to be told. But an elder told me that our stories cannot be shared overnight. It takes a lifetime. We are telling that story. Kickstarter support has allowed me to be on the road for 416 days. I have driven 58,000 miles through all of the western United States, from New Mexico to Montana, Wyoming to California. I have photographed 161 tribes. I have joined our people in their homes, in tribal schools, in ceremonies, in places of immense and painful history, places of environmental and economic crisis, and in settings of extraordinary natural beauty.
My happiness is S&P-ETSI. That means you're happy all the time, and smiling isn't oopsie. That means you're both the same. We forget about that.
I've collected stories from elders, poets, leaders, tribal youth, activists, and culture bearers. Project 562 has attracted crucial allies in the world of media, arts, and ideas. During this period of your support, the University of Washington Press has invited me to publish my work as a multi-volume fine arts portrait series, the first of its kind. The Tacoma Art Museum is preparing for an exclusive exhibition of Project 562 on May 17th of 2014. And in May of this last year, I spoke at TEDx in Seattle about Project 562, Surviving Disappearance. Project 562 has been featured in 18 national print media and radio outlets, including NBC, Indian Country Today, and NPR. Although my focus has been on photographing tribes, I have been awarded grants from the Tulalip Charitable Contribution Fund, the Pechanga Tribe, and the Potlatch Fund. The most amazing part of this journey, though, has been the generosity and kindness that our people have offered me, and their enthusiasm and hope that has come from them believing in what I am doing. I believed I could do this project in 4 years. In 1 year, I have already completed 1/3 of what I set out to do. And remember that we belong to one another. The time of sharing, building cultural bridges, abolishing racism, and creating a lasting legacy that will unite the next 7 generations is among us. And please share the project with your friends. My name is Matika Wilbur. This is Project 562. Thank you for listening.
Currently, there are 566 federally recognized tribes. Though when Matika Wilbur began in 2012, there were 562. So that is what she named her project. Wilbur asks her subjects what they want to wear, how they want to be portrayed. Some wear traditional regalia, while some wear their everyday clothes. The point Wilbur makes is that American Indians are in all occupations, in all walks of life, in all states. Other artists are challenging that vanishing race myth as well.
Our own roots to this land, our own stories.
My name is Frank Wan. I'm a 25-year-old indigenous hip-hop artist from the Rosebud Reservation in South Dakota.
I'm not the noble savage, doing damage to the perception of who I am. Self-destruct when I self-construct my own plan of my identity from their affinity.
Growing up, I internalized a lot of those things that colonization taught us. I can't even describe to you the trauma that we're born with. You can't know unless you live it. It took me stepping out of that and finding my own voice and my own power through my music to realize that my story means something. I definitely think there's a connection between traditional storytelling and hip-hop. My people have been storytellers for thousands of years, and this is just a new way for us to tell our story.
You took me everywhere, my cap in my backpack. 20 years later, now I'm rapping a snapback. Yeah, single mother with the all stacked. Raise a king, one day I'll bring it all back.
Growing up on the reservation was pretty tough. I was raised by my mother and aunties. The last time I saw my dad was 4 or 5 years ago, just in passing, and he saw me and he didn't acknowledge me. Everything that I do today is connected to how I was brought up. My family lives off of the land, so protecting the land is something that's very important to me. We're all connected. The earth, the sky, the water. We came from the same source. To think that we can just keep taking and destroying the land and not suffer consequences is unreal. We need to take care of the planet, otherwise it's game over for us.
I have to be a rebel just to be myself. My name's Inez Jasper. I'm from the Squakale First Nation. What I like to do with my music is create positivity, provide inspiration, motivation. Our people have a history of so many challenges. We face many stereotypes, as well as the issue that's at the forefront of the media right now, missing and murdered Indigenous women. We are targets for predators. Sometimes Indigenous women are blamed as the root of the cause, and blaming the victim is not the answer. Something has to change. Awareness has a huge impact. I think an artist like myself can take on an issue like this and share it with a wider audience.
Hi, I'm Natanya Nezmeans. I am from Chinle, Arizona. My tribes are Oglala Lakota, Dene, Umaha, and Dakota. I'm a rapper, and I focus on social issues we as young American Indians face in the 21st century. I got 2 braids and a beaded necklace, living young and living reckless. Got a bullet for the next hipster in a headdress. Step aside. Suicide's prevalent on American Indian reservations. We have the highest rate of suicide in the country. Kids don't feel like they can talk to anybody, and they just give up. With my music, I'm trying to reach these kids. We'll be successful if just one kid comes up to me and tells me that my music helped him.
My name is Mike Cliff. People also call me Weeko. I'm an Oglala Lakota artist from Pine Ridge, South Dakota. I'm a graphic designer. I'm also a rapper and stage performer. I feel like it's my duty to create awareness for Indigenous rights. I just want kids to see that they can do whatever they want to do.
These artists and other Indigenous people remind us that for the 2.5 million American Indians today, each is as present and individual as you and I are.
The phrase contemporary Native American artist, to me, is just another label.
People use that so that they easily know what it is.
So much of what is indigenous to North America isn't identifiable to the popular culture anyway.
People are very skeptical of things they don't understand or that defy labels.
I am here now, so I am contemporary, I am Native American, and I am an artist. I don't want it to be any more loaded than that.